few of you may be not as familiar with Ayurveda as few of you might be, because the first choice is always the conventional medicine. And the conventional medicine, there are different ways of looking at everything. Chinese medicine looks at it a little differently, Ayurveda looks at it differently, conventional medicine has its own way of looking. So how many of you are seeing the glass of wine? And how many of you are seeing two people looking at each other? And how many of you are seeing a profile of the beautiful young girl? And how many of you are seeing a wicked witch? Okay. So this is like the nose of the wicked witch. These are her lips. This is her big chin. And if you see the profile, this is the profile. These are her eyes. These are her hair and all. So it's kind of the way we look at it. So tonight I'm just going to show you how Ayurveda looks at and just compare it with the conventional medicine. So conventionally we always talk about heart is just the pump. What does it do? It just pumps the oxygenated blood throughout the body, supplying oxygen and nourishment to each and every cell in the body. So from this left side, the blood goes to the rest of the body and comes back as a deoxygenated blood in the right side of the heart, and then it goes to the lungs. We inhale, so there is a gas exchange happening at lungs. That blood comes back again in the left side of the heart, and it is circulated continuously from the moment we are born till we die. So there is no rest to our heart. It's continuously pumping the blood. So conventional medicine looks at it, it's just a pump. Now if that pump is not working, what's going to happen? What happens here is the coronary artery. Remember, like heart is supplying the blood to the rest of the body, but it needs its own blood supply too. Otherwise it's not going to live and it's not going to function. And that blood supply is provided to the heart by the arteries called coronary arteries. And what happens if we start eating a lot of fatty food, all this, the plaques start building up in these arteries, reducing the lumen. You can see how big the artery was before, and now this all the white yellow part is blocked by excessive cholesterol or atherosclerosis. So only this much lumen is remained. So the heart doesn't get enough blood supply. So what do? Is they put the metal mesh kind of a tube in the artery so they won't collapse, and they will keep supplying the blood to the heart. And they give you different statins, the drugs, to lower your cholesterol. They recommend some like aspirin, blood thinners to prevent the clots, and so many other drugs, and heart healthy diet and lifestyle. If this puzzle was so much easier, it wasn't a problem. But do you know, the research shows that about 50% of the people who end up in hospital for heart attack have normal cholesterol. Can you believe that? And about 25% of the people who develop early signs of heart disease have no classical markers about whatever they call traditional heart attack markers. That means only the cholesterol is not the culprit. So lowering cholesterol, taking these statins is not the only solution. There must be something more deeper into that. And then all these Eastern philosophies, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine and all, we talk more about those heart problems. So we believe heart is not only the pump. But we have so many different hearts. Like Vedic philosophy, Ayurveda believes that we have existence at 5 different levels. What we see is just the physical body. So we have the physical heart which is pumping the blood. But we also have the pranic heart, the pranamaya kosha, or that layer which gives the energy, which gives the prana to the physical heart to function. So maybe there is some problem at this level, emotional level, the mental, emotional heart. And that is the biggest and that's the big field of research these days, and finding out what are the negative, how the negative emotions affect our heart. And that's what we are going to talk more about it. Then is the inner, then that is the intellectual heart, and the innermost circle is the spiritual heart. And many of these Eastern philosophers believe that the soul resides in our spiritual heart. So instead of focusing only on this physical heart, if we look at all these different levels, we will find the solution to what may be happening to more of the people. So heart we always call is the root. And what do you think does the root do? The root just absorbs all the nutrients and water from the soil and nourishes to each and every part of the plant. The same way, the heart doesn't only pump the blood, but it is also the root of the prana, the subtle life energy in the body, the nutrients. How many of you knew that the heart provides the nourishment to the rest of the body? Because it has, we always call plasma protein. You know, our blood has red blood cells and white blood cells, and it has plasma protein. So that plasma has all the nourishment to the food. And the emotions. The heart is the seat of the emotions. The emotions originate in the heart. That's why the heart transforms and provides the prana, the nutrients and the emotions to each and every cell in the body. There are trillions of cells in the body. So that is the function of the heart. So remember, the health of the heart is very critical. And that's what we always call the heart is the most vital organ in our life, because it has the major function of nourishing the whole body, providing the prana to the body, and main importantly, emotions. And why do you think emotions are so important? Because trust me, emotions, mind controls our body. Body expresses what your mind harbors. Don't you know that sometimes that anger, you get like a stomach ulcer, and fear and anxiety may give palpitations of the heart. The stress is the cause of many cancers. So we all know that emotions reflect in the physical body in some sort of disease. So just thinking about the physical body is not that important, but we also have to consider more importantly our emotions to that. So let me give you an example here. Is the heart is the root of prana. How many of you know this word called prana? P-R-A-N-A. You don't. Do you know the word chi? What is chi?
Energy.
Energy, the life energy. In Ayurveda, we describe the chi as prana. Okay? So, for example, how much oxygen do you think is in the air? The whole air we breathe in is not 100% oxygen. It's only 21% oxygen. Okay? And the prana is even subtle than oxygen. So our body, when we just inhale air, body has to create the separate that oxygen. It has to create the prana from the oxygen, so each and every cell can absorb that oxygen, that prana for its function. So very, very important, and all these things happen in the heart. So think about the quality of the air. Think about like for example, if you had been to India, you will know all the cities are so polluted and congested and all, and you always notice that you don't feel good because you cannot even inhale fresh air. Not only India, but even here when we live, and all the IT people, they know they always live in this controlled environment, always in front of those electromagnetic fields and all. The air is not very, very pure. It doesn't have a lot of prana in it. So you just have to go in the open air, you have to breathe, you have to take morning walks and all, and fill yourself with all that prana to nourish you. And that transformation, that change, that digestion of the air into prana is done by the heart.